Hey y'all, what's up, my beautiful peeps? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Give Since 92, giving you guys the latest and exclusive content on new music, entertainment, news, and inspiration quotes by me. The Queen is back. All right, guys, I decided to make this video because it's time, period. And I thought about this because since I love going to concerts, and as an Aaliyah fan, you guys gonna always get updates on Aaliyah information and all that great stuff from me. So I think what's really amazing is that the Aaliyah fans that have witnessed Aaliyah in concert, I love y'all. Blessings, period. Because you guys did to experience Queen while y'all did. And as time went on, we know like her famous like concert performances, live shows, all of that, really amazing stuff. But I know, and it pains me because I know we all know I'm not the only one that feels like this, but have any of y'all ever imagined having to go see her going to an Aaliyah world tour? Because I feel and I believe that she would have still been doing her thing in music. She would have went on a world tour. She would have been booking like stages. She would have been, dropping them tour dates, would have had like the, exclusive deals, the merchandise, all the above. And I'll say this, guys, this is my reaction. Yeah, I believe it. Yes, indeed. And I think really it's really sentimental as a fan for me, coming from me, because I'm like, I love going to concerts. I have experienced amazing live performances from musicians. Aaliyah was no different, duh, she wasn't. But the thing is, I feel like even listening to her music frequently and feeling like I always imagine the set list, like how like her set list would be. Like from the era of Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, and from the One in a Million era, and then from the self-titled era. And I feel that Aaliyah, in my honest opinion, by the time she put out the sophomore album, she was always hitting the road. She was always like, on tour. She was doing shows and concerts. But I feel personally, the era One in a Million, she should have had like her own solo tour for that. Because if you think about how huge and successful the One in a Million era was, she had a whole new sound, revolutionary sound. She worked with really dope, up and coming, talented music producers, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Static Major. They all really played a role in Aaliyah's, creativity. Not that Aaliyah was never creative. No, she did her thing. She was able to have her creativity as well. And I think that even the third album, Aaliyah, and this is what really hurts. I think that we were supposed to also most likely get a world tour. And I feel she would have, and everyone else would have been, you know, back to the USA, and she would have booked that VMA's live performance. Yes, she was supposed to book that live performance. The iconic, live performance VMAs. And when MTV was about, everything in music in their heyday, Aaliyah would have still been doing her thing in music. I feel like Aaliyah still would have been going on tour, but she would have had her own world tour. And I feel that for her to really go on tour, she would have been more open. Not that Aaliyah was never open with her fans. She was always like, oh, because I've heard stories like, oh, she was nice, kind, sweet. Yeah, she was a diva, but it was a positive. Like she had that radiant, that glow. Like she wasn't all like prissy. She really interacted with her fans. So her personality on stage would have brought to life. Like she would have had her like tours. She would have literally been in charge of like, okay, how her set list was gonna be, her dancers, the outfits. And I feel that as time would have went on, she would have still got better. She would have still, I know I say better, but like she would have still pushed herself musically as an artist. She was really a well-rounded artist because we look back at her catalog, we know her hit records. She was more of a R&B pop, soul, hip hop crossover mainstream artist. Even though, like I said, she started, like I said, how she had hit records under her belt in mainstream years ago was difficult to catch on. So she really literally worked hard and she was, she never gave up. She hold down the formula that worked well for her. That's what made her stand out and stay consistent with her music, her sound, her aesthetic. So she was able to really like hold down the fort with her lane musically. Because I feel like even she would have did that daggone tour for the promotion of her third album, most likely. And I feel like the self-titled album is one of the iconic, legendary albums in her music career because she always set the tone high. She set the bar high with her sound. The music producers that she worked with. So I know we would have gotten an Aaliyah tour, like how she would have been booking stages, and maybe it wouldn't be like a big tour. But I kind of feel like, and this is the thing, and it's really sad, and I'm gonna be positive, but I feel like as an Aaliyah fan, I feel that most of us we're on the same page. It hurts to this day. Not that we're like, oh man, but it's like she literally was still being successful. She was soaring. She was continuing to get her, her deals, her brands and films. She literally was still going to go further. And most likely she would have propelled further for herself, period. Aaliyah was Aaliyah. There will never be an Aaliyah, period. But why I say this, she was going to still do the damn thing for herself because I feel like even behind the scenes, there was just too many. I feel like there was just too many daggone like limbos because I kind of feel like for her to really even have a world tour by herself, you daggone right, she would have freaking held it down. And I feel like even years how she came out of the gates where music was changing, a different sound shift, even early 2000s nostalgia. She was bringing a lot of that like R&B, soul, hip hop, funk, and rock pop aesthetic. Like even the self-titled Aaliyah album, I envision like that commercial where she's promoting the album campaign, man, and she had like the cartoon, the comic cartoon of herself, like she on a motorcycle, she riding to the like concert venue, and the fans are waiting, and then there she go, and the fans like cheering, like like, and even watching that commercial, literally it gave me ideas because I was like, yeah, most likely she would have had her own set list. I even envision her dancers. They would have been bad ASS. They would have been killing it. They would have been slaying, snatching the stage up. And I feel also that the music, she would have had like a verse, like something like the songs from her debut album, the sophomore album, and the third album. She would have. I kind of feel like she would have had did a little bit. She would have did a little bit from those Age Ain't Nothing But a Number of records, and then she would have did like the 1 in a Million records. So she would have did like a little bit of everything. Then of course the third album, the red iconic third album, and I think that even for her, I feel she would have allowed to have special guests. She would have had the musicians that coming up as well, give them opportunities and do their thing as well. Because really music was at a time where we really didn't have all this like rah unnecessary. Now we had different opinions, like we like this artist more than the other. It's fine. But we didn't have this like, I just feel like Aaliyah, and I know Aaliyah fans, we've always been supportive. We've always like listened to her music and all that. But I and I've never witnessed Aaliyah in concert before, So it's like, man, God darn it. But the fans that have, salute to y'all. I love y'all. You know, y'all, like I said, it's amazing. Um, what the time, the place, the location, y'all remember because it's really sentimental, especially to witness an artist that you do love their music. And even though you don't know them, who cares? But Aaliyah's music really brought people together. Like some people, her music critics, there's something else. But I kind of think like her critics, even within, like the black community sometimes, because she does have toxic, the black community and the toxic, black people in that area where they got this really crab in the barrel mentality when it comes to her. I mean, yeah, you wear her shirts, yeah, I see people wearing her merchandise, and I can even pick up a little bit. I can be like, okay, you like her music, or you just like. I'm not. Listen, I don't care. I'm the kind of fan, Aaliyah fan. It's not about you being a fan or not. I just feel like all the stuff she went through in her personal life, yeah. And the Aaliyah fans, you know how we get bucked sometimes, a little bit every once in a blue moon. But Aaliyah was just more than just music. Like you can really, her passion, like her being gifted, like her being able to really push through. And I think that was pretty much Aaliyah was getting ready to really soar high, high with this third album. Like she was going to change music. She was already changing music with the self-titled Red album. But I know she would have put out a tour to promote the self-titled Red album. Yeah, we would have gotten the whole 9 yards. She would have really utilized the resources to book the concert venues, okay, get people that actually know what the heck they're doing to like communicate with her management. I think, and I also think her management sometimes they played a role in like the limbo thing sometimes. And also, yes, you know, Black Ground Records, there were some things, like I said, I mean, they did their part. Like, I know, like I said, her uncle, he did as much as he could. But I feel like sometimes you got to get others to help too. There's nothing wrong with a team, like other people to help you as well from different walks of life. Because I think with her, she would have really crossed over a lot with that third album. Like I could see Aaliyah fans like a world tour, like wow. Then I think that her stage presence, she would have switched up with the choreography, like even singing. Aaliyah had a beautiful voice. She had a sultry voice. So I know like the self-titled debut album, sorry y'all, that okay, try again. Choreography. We need a resolution. Imagine her performing We Need a Resolution. Yeah. That song was like the first song from the single. Rock the Boat choreography, Rock the Boat song, More Than a Woman. And I think also those songs like Loose Rap, I can see her perform that song. Um, um, it's whatever. I can really see Aaliyah pretty much just elevating, setting the standard for herself to put on an amazing show. Aaliyah was always, her showmanship was already top tier. So let's just focus on like her putting on a tour and more tours after the tours. She would have really made it worthwhile. Because as I go to concerts sometimes, it's like the artists that really could tell they take their time to put on the show. They make sure the set list, the dancers, the singers, the everything, and even the technical work, like the theme music and like the stage production. Aaliyah was very into that because Aaliyah was like her personality, like she has that edginess, that darkness, that mystiqueness, that flair, that sassiness, that sexiness. We would have saw all of that. We really would. And I really feel that from seeing Aaliyah's performances throughout the years, I think Aaliyah pretty much she was she was already, she just had everything ahead of her. She had everything going on for her. And I think that listening to her interviews, I watch her interviews a lot because I do have an Aaliyah DVD, I Care For You, behind the scenes. How she really, you could tell she really had it down pat. Like she knew what her sound, like her artistry. And sonically, the music, how she said she worked with the music producers, same thing, how they talked about how, like, it wasn't just about just making a hit record. It just was about like bringing a record to life, like label, being creative, that innovation. Aaliyah's tours would have had that because every time I watch a set list of a tour of a musician, I can see how she or he or them, they're a girl group or a boy group, that you could tell how they're making sure that they're bringing the music to life. The fans are able to engage and interact with them in the concert venue. Like the fans sing all the songs, and then, you know, the anticipation of the next song, and it's like amazing because Aaliyah was able to do all of that. That ain't it. This is not a video about Aaliyah. No, this is a video. Aaliyah, like, she would have had a world tour for herself. And really, sometimes I get a little bit, for me, like it's bittersweet as an Aaliyah fan because sometimes I'm like, making these videos is fun. I do enjoy making these videos, and I sometimes get sad. I don't look like I'm sad, but I do have I get butterflies in my stomach when it comes to certain things. Because I think that even listening to like how music has changed so much, and we're in a new era of music, and like Aaliyah's legacy is still in fruition. She has, opened the door for many talented musicians, that came after her to do their thing, to follow their dreams, and to be unique and different. It's kind of like, damn, like Aaliyah, girl, we're freaking sorry. Okay, we're all freaking sorry. Um, period. So it's like it makes a lot of sense because I also feel that her outfits, we know like all her iconic outfits, right? That's right. I feel even her glam squad, her makeup team, fashion team would have helped her because she had a lot of creativity. She had ideas. And of course she had a lot of ideas because she, the sound, the style, the street style of Tom girl, tomboy, but with a sassiness, sexiness to it. And she would have been full hands on of what outfits that she wanted to have. Aaliyah was just creative, just like that. She just was she just had so much, of that natural talent, And I think that even a world tour, we know, we know. So I feel like even most of the songs, like even 1 in a Million, I really would have loved to see Aaliyah on tour and singing 1 in a Million because that song came from a place of how R&B, soul, hip hop music was changing, and she had that alternative sound, and she was really saying it live. How she sang it live, the way how she was singing and dancing, and her background dancers. I'm gonna talk about the daggone dancers that she had. She had amazing background dancers. They were able to really get into the zone, feel the music, and really, I feel like she would have had women and men background dancers, and I think that that would have made it very worthwhile because she already had it. She already had it coming in a great way when it came to her talent, when it came to all the things that she, you know, um, that she was able to do sonically with her music. So I also feel the one I gave my heart to, that would have been another record that she sung live. And also, people, critics would say, well, Aaliyah wasn't a good singer. Oh, Aaliyah was a bad, terrible singer. Well, her live performances, especially with her range, she had a unique range with her tone, with her voice, that she could sing. It's like that melodic, that lullaby kind of singing, whether you can sing it like in like a singer tone or a singer tone or a singer tone. So she really was, she just had, she was able to like really gravitate with her music and bring it to life. And then the fans, we would have been like, yo, sang along to the records at the world tour, more tours. So it's not just having one world tour. No, like I feel like Aaliyah, her presence in music not being here, that's what really hurts. And I say this because I feel like Aaliyah's absence in music, it's not hurting the fans, it's hurting the music industry. And it is. It's kind of like, not this, I'm just saying that for her, I'm talking about her. We're focusing on her. I feel like for her to go how she did, everybody else, the way how it went down, it just really was sad, because it was like, damn, we really, really had somebody that just was bringing it. Imagine we had these damn tours. Imagine the fans, the merchandise. And I know Aaliyah pretty much was into, finding ways how to make profit of her music and of her, fashion. And I really believe, this is my honest opinion. You can agree or disagree with me. It's fine. Cool, But I really, really believe that people didn't want to see Aaliyah get further in music for herself. People felt threatened by her, talent, music, natural beauty. They really, like, in the music industry, like I said, they really felt threatened. That's all I gotta say, because I don't really feel that whatever the people, like I said, we'll just never know until things come to fruition, until we know the truth, right? So I think that, even listening to her music, and, even like everything, I just feel like, yeah, we, Aaliyah would have been putting out her tours, more albums, and I feel also she was getting more popular in the mainstream world, because mainstream years ago, I'm talking about years ago, was more diverse, was more open to different sounds and music. And Aaliyah would have still been doing her thing. Imagine Aaliyah right now. Where would she be right now in music? That's why I feel like her presence in music is it's really sad. It's the absence. It's not the same. And no disrespect, I'm just saying, as a Aaliyah fan of gratitude, I just feel like, yeah, she pretty much was able to really just do it. But I feel like when, you know, you see a gift of passion, you want to keep going. And I also feel like, she pretty much, like I said, as a well-seasoned artist, regardless of how many albums she's put out, she most likely take a break, hiatus, venture off to other, great endeavors, stacking that paper up, having her own personal life, and really sustaining her legacy. And she would like, yo, drop them tour dates, cool. Book these stages, cool. Like let the fans know. Like imagine Aaliyah being on Instagram, being on Twitter, being on TikTok. Just stay consistent with, her, like just stay consistent with it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because I think that also Aaliyah's personality, she was like down to earth, reserved. She had like that like upbeat tempo personality. You know, she was able to like connect with people, you know. But I kind of feel like Aaliyah also, she would have also been about her music and like her brand more. She may have not like interacted with her fans 24/7 social media, which I feel like I'm going to talk about more videos like this in the future because there has to be a balance. And I think the over saturation of social media and it's too much. People are human beings. They got their own lives, guys. You know, they got their own stuff. So I think that Aaliyah definitely would have been like, okay, cool. I'm gonna let my fans know what I'm doing, what's going on, connect. I'm putting the music out. The music's gonna be out. Period. You know, they be on the lookout, promote like hell. You know, so we can get it popping, and that's it. But other than that, I think that Aaliyah really would have been still that showmanship that she had, oh, she would have still been slaying up and down. She would have been like slaying, and that's it. She would have did that. She would have pushed her choreography, her dancers. They would have pushed her choreography. This is one thing I love about choreography, regardless of how it is. When you have that natural gift of singing and dancing at the same time, and then getting just in the groove, in the bass line, and then interacting with the fans literally it shows that you have put in the work as an artist, that your artist development has really kicked in and it has really gave you more confidence. It gave you that stamina, that endurance. So Aaliyah, I'm just saying, you guys would have, what do you guys think? Well, how do you guys feel? I want you to tell me, how do you guys feel? Like, how do you guys feel? Like, for real, for real. How do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about Aaliyah, like going on tour? I would, hell, I sure would, period. Like, and tell me like what songs you would have loved for her to perform every night, most nights. Like, let's have a conversation down below because, it's that time. All right. So with that being said, guys, this is all I have to say. Look out for more of my Aaliyah videos. And like I said, guys, I promise, like with Super Saiyan sprinkles on top, I'm like I said, I'm gonna be. You'll see. So with that being said, guys, share your thoughts and opinions. Stay tuned in the next episode. Get Cincinnati 2. Like, share, comment, subscribe down below. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. And as always, stay tuned in the next episode. Get Cincinnati 2. Dragon Ball Z narrative reference. Peace. Bye bye. Yours as in out. The Super Saiyan's out.